right, hello. My name is Evan Engstrom. I'm the head of creator public policy for YouTube. And my job focuses on ensuring that creators have a voice in the public policy space and that policymakers understand what the creator economy is, why it matters, and what they can do to build a creator ecosystem wherever they live. I'll share with you today my overall perspective on why the creator economy is such an exciting part of the overall media ecosystem and the economy at large, and why everyone who cares about economic growth can take steps to foster creator success wherever they are. So to set the stage, let's look at some of the top level numbers for YouTube. We like to say that YouTube gives everyone a voice and shows them the world, and that sounds maybe a little bit ambitious and highfalutin, but when you put numbers to it and consider that 500 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute in over 100 countries and 80 languages, it's not an exaggeration. If you have an internet connection and a camera, you can be a creator and reach a global audience. If you have YouTube, you can get content about anything, from anywhere, from everyone. So it really is a global network of creators that you can access on YouTube. If you're not familiar with what a creator is, you're not alone. When I talk to policymakers about it, you'd be surprised at kind of the questions they ask and then the lack of understanding about the internet at all, much less a creator. The way we define creator is basically anyone who uses digital platforms to distribute content that they create. On YouTube, that's videos, but on other platforms, that can be video games, newsletters, music, really anything. And increasingly, this is how folks are getting their content. On YouTube, you access it through your channel. So you go to the YouTube website, you go to a creator's channel, you can see all their content. And when we talk about the creator economy, I think that's the important term to understand here. The creator economy is the folks who are creating the content and distributing it, but critically it's also all of the sort of support infrastructure that creators use to produce their content. So that's video editors, that's producers, managers. There's a whole universe of folks that are a part of this economy, and it's a pretty significant thing, as we'll talk about today. So when we talk about YouTube's impact, we like to talk about the economic, cultural, and social impact that we have, which is kind of the same lens that I use when I try to explain to policymakers why creators are so important. I like to basically say, you should care about creators because they're economically important, right? They have a huge contribution to job growth and GDP. They're artistically important. This is really high quality stuff. It's not sort of the cat videos and grainy handheld footage you might think of when you think of the early days of the platform. And critically, it's socially impactful, right? This is content that you can't find anywhere else on broadcast media. So the economic piece is probably the most well documented, but it's kind of hard to overstate its importance. How we did this, how we sort of created the creator economy, I guess we like to say we created it, but a lot of people involved. I think the thing that really drove this was the decision sort of 15 years plus ago to create a revenue share program where creators participate in our success and we participate in their success. So we share 55% of our ad revenue for any video that plays against a creator's long-form content. And they get to use that money to reinvest in their channels, so creating more and better content. We use some of our money to reinvest in our programs, creating this virtuous cycle of innovation, which allows more creators to come on the business, to come on the platform and build their businesses and grow. It's not just rev share. We've introduced other ways to monetize over the years, whether that's things like super chat, where if you're doing a live stream, you can pay to have your comment or question go to the top of the chat so you can interact with your favorite creator. You can sell memberships to give members exclusive perks that only members can have, and YouTube shopping, where you can purchase stuff. So there's a lot of ways to make money, and this has had a huge impact. From 2022 to 2024, we've paid out $70 billion to creators, artists, and music partners. That's a huge amount of money, and it's really creating a whole ecosystem of business success. A little hard to read, but roughly what this is telling you is we've seen a big increase in some of these alternative monetization pathways which create new forms of businesses, right? So instead of just a video business where you earn money because you draw a lot of eyeballs to your video, if you have these alternative monetization pathways, you can have different types of businesses. So a fitness creator who realizes that it's probably better to have membership packages because folks like to consume that all at once. So a lot of increase in the creator community based on these alternative monetization pathways. And we're seeing 7% increases in folks earning 5 figures or 6 figures or more on the platform in the US, 10% for folks earning 5 figures or more on the platform. So there's a lot of growth in this economy as we've seen over the years. And it's, again, like I said, it's not just for the creators themselves. There's a whole ecosystem of support folks around there. And one of the things I do like to point out, creators are very diverse where they're located, and the creator support networks are even more diverse, right? So it's not just in big coastal cities. We see creator networks all over the country, and any community that kind of dedicates themselves to it can create an environment that is conducive to this type of creator economy. The impact overall has been huge. So in 2024, YouTube's creative ecosystem contributed $55 billion to US GDP and supported almost 500,000 full-time equivalent jobs. So the creator economy is huge and it's growing. That's just YouTube. Obviously, there are other platforms, so it is a big, big part of the ecosystem. Like I said, it's not just cat videos. We're seeing a huge amount of quality content here. It's a place where you can find different perspectives. These are the numbers that we show about how users go to YouTube to find this variety of unique perspectives that they can't find anywhere else. And it's high quality content. So this is Dr. Javoris Hollingsworth, a former chemistry teacher who runs a channel called Gracie's Corner. Increasingly, we're seeing creators be recognized by the traditional media ecosystem. His amazing kid content was just nominated for a BET award. So we're seeing a lot more traction within kind of the traditional media ecosystem. And this is us hosting a party for some of our top creators, including Sean Evans from Hot Ones and the Good Mythical Morning Crew, where they were self-nominating for Emmy Awards. We think it's high time that creators got the recognition they deserve in these kind of traditional media ecosystems. Finally, I like to call out the societal impact of YouTube in the creator ecosystem. I think this is the piece that's perhaps most important in some ways. YouTube is a place where people learn, right? 92% of people in the US go to YouTube to gather information and to fix practical problems. It's really, it's where I go to learn, right? If I want to teach my kid algebra or figure out how to fix a broken washing machine, it's the first place you go. Anything you want to learn, you can learn on YouTube. And what's fun is, creators will learn on YouTube and then go on to do their own creation, whether that's advanced mathematics or learning how to barbecue or starting a farm business. It's this kind of virtuous cycle of learning and production that the creator economy is so great for. And increasingly, it's important for educational value. I think that's when I talk to policymakers, perhaps the number one thing I love to highlight, folks use YouTube to learn at all levels of the education system. 86% of US teachers use YouTube in the classroom. This is really important, right? YouTube is not just a place where you find fun, interesting, exciting entertainment, but it's where you find education. It's where you find mental health content. It's where you find communities that would never be able to find themselves otherwise. Any niche of content you want is available here, and it couldn't exist anywhere else. We just love the creator ecosystem because of its ability to kind of find your niche audience, find your niche content, and reach a global audience. Given that impact, I'm always a little bit surprised at how ill-equipped in many ways the policy infrastructure is to support the creator ecosystem. The main example of this I like to point out is there's no category for creator in really any government statistics or tax documents. So when I talk to creators, they say, I go to fill out my tax forms or I go to apply for a mortgage, I have to list what I am and there's nothing. And it makes it really hard to get funding or really hard to get a mortgage. So there are really basic steps that I think policymakers and civic leaders can do to help make life easier for creators and to help bring creator communities elsewhere. I can't hammer that point home enough. Talking to a group of civic leaders, there is a place here for a creator community if you take the steps to make that happen. That's, I think, the first place to start is learning about it, but then thinking about those small ways to make life more attractive for creators here in the form of better loan programs, better policies to help draw them in, to help support the types of creator support folks that they need to produce their content. So as the creator economy matures into a major industry, we at YouTube are really excited to help bring that artistic, economic, and social value to the world and are happy to participate with anyone who's interested in building a creator economy here. Thank you.